News business and data correspondent Brian Chung, NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba, and Ravi Agrawal, editor-in-chief of Foreign Policy magazine. And Brian, I want to start with you. So where are the highest tariffs now, and how are Americans feeling about all of this?
Yeah, some tariff rates as high as 40 or 50%. And again, I think when we talk about the tariffs, a lot of people are probably thinking, Brian, wait, we've talked about tariffs seemingly every day over the last 6 months. Why should we take today any more seriously than the prior months? And it is because the president and the White House have engaged other countries. And in some cases, even though there's been these so-called deals, the walkaway tariff rate that was now effective is substantially higher than it was when the president entered office on January 20th. So for that reason, these tariffs that went into effect on midnight are going to lead to higher consumer prices. And I think that the concern among consumers over rising costs is underscored by recent survey data that we got from our partners over at CNBC, showing a majority, it is a slim majority, but a majority of Americans disapproving of the president's approach here on tariffs. But again, 53% rating the president as a disapproval on this, 51% specifically on tariffs. And again, you can see how much higher those numbers are with concerns over inflation and costs of living, 60% disapproving of the president's policies.
And Monica, the president's declaring it a massive victory. But this isn't even the end of his tariff moves, right?
Exactly, Anna. There are still a couple of countries that are on separate tracks for negotiations, some of which got extensions. And then there's the nitty-gritty of some of the frameworks that were reached. With the EU, for instance, there are still some questions about exactly how some of those points in the deal are going to work. And then you have these specific industry tariffs, the ones that are going to be on things like pharmaceuticals that could go up to 250%, the president said and indicated. And you also have semiconductors, which the president said will face a 100% tariff for those who make those really important chips that go into about everything that we use technologically. But there are some important carve-outs, and that is for any companies who are pledging to do that kind of manufacturing and producing here in the United States. And that is why you saw this major announcement yesterday that the president participated in with Apple and with Tim Cook by his side, touting and saying that those companies who have pledged to do that won't face these kinds of tariffs, but others will. And that is why you're going to see in the White House's argument a boom in domestic manufacturing. They're trying to argue that that could make up for some of these issues here where the economy will face these unknown questions from these really high tariffs in some instances on things that we do use every day as well. So the White House trying to really take a victory lap. The president saying this is what he promised to do and he's going through with it. But at the same time, there are still other deals in other countries that haven't been finalized, Anna.
And Ravi, as we look at that list of the countries and all the products that are going to be impacted here, the president has hit friends and foes alike. How is this impacting relationships with our allies?
Oh, not very well at all. I think, there are countries in Europe, for example, which feel stymied, surprised, befuddled. Think of a country like India, which has strengthened its relations with the United States over the last 20 years. India is absolutely stunned that it's been hit with reciprocal tariffs on the oil that it's purchasing from Russia, which it feels the Biden administration allowed it to do. There was broad understanding that if India didn't buy oil from Russia, oil prices would just go up because it would buy it from elsewhere. So there's general and genuine confused attitudes among world leaders I'm speaking with and diplomats around the world who don't understand how, if Trump cares so much about inflation, he doesn't see that, A, this will have an inflationary regressive impact domestically, but B, also on the global prices of oil. So it's confusing, to say the least.
Yeah, Ravi, just picking up on your mention of India and those tariffs that are multiplying on India because of their trading relationship with Russia. I mean, why target India and not impose similar tariffs on China for buying Russian goods? We know Beijing buys a lot more Russian oil than New Delhi does.
Yeah, no one knows the answer. I've been asking people. That would in weeks. So they're not trying to do anything. India's continuing to purchase Russian oil. And remember again,
already 100 billion Scott Bessent, said that he expects if the tariffs hold to the rates that they are at now, the U.S. could be taking in $300 billion a year from that. And so, again, when you talk about the debt that's in the
Call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakah Kavash, and don't want to the apostles and elders of great millstone, and peace salutation to the icon doing his work in truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth. All right, we want to do this lesson. Okay, going into the situation. All right, well, Donald T has revamped the tariffs. Okay, and all you maggers, all right, and all you Americans, you proud red-blooded Americans, okay, you about to get exactly what you asked for. All right, you about to get your ass whooped. Okay, 'cause this is what you wanted. All right, you chose America. You chose to trust in these politicians. All right, and these government leaders. Okay, and they about to lead your ass to destruction. You know, in that video, somebody commented, you know, this is a really slow train crash, man. All right, and that's exactly what it is. Okay, and the men of the Lord have been waiting on that train to crash for a long time. All right, but ultimately it's up to the Most High Power, man. All right, and when He wants the train to hit the tracks, man. Okay, and implode on everything that's in the way. Okay, that's up to the Most High Power. All right, it ain't up to the kings of this earth. Okay, it's not their decision. It's not in their hands. Okay, although they think it is. All right, although it appears to be that way. All right, that's not the way that the Most High is moving, man. Okay, He positions these politicians and these world leaders, man. All right, but the clamp is coming down on you American people, man. You know, you people that believe that you have a choice. All right, that your fucking your vote matters. All right, you gonna start this business, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. You know, with your fucking pride and arrogance. You know, you saw the men of the Lord out on the highways and byways, and you turned up your neck. All right, you murmured, you had shit to say out of your mouth. Okay, well now, okay, you're not being able to enjoy America no more. All right, now you broke. You know, now you can't find a job. Here it is, you bought into the old college lie. You thought you was gonna graduate and have a job. All right, and you found out the devil lied to you. Okay, well that's what you get. All right, and we don't feel bad for you, not one bit. Okay, because the men of the Lord was out on the highways and byways. Okay, warning you morons, man. All right, but you don't want to listen. Okay, you said you had it figured out. You could do all bad by yourself. All right, and hey, now you are doing bad. You're doing very bad. Okay, and now Nero has activated the tariffs, man. Okay, and you people gonna feel it. All right, it's already getting active at the position I got right now. All right, because they got in a very expensive part. All right, it's like $30,000. $30,000, man. You know, and now Donald T. All right, has activated a 50% tariff on Brazil. Okay, so that same part that's at my job is no longer $30,000. Okay, Now, that same part, all right, let's do the math. 50% of 30,000, what's that? That's 15,000. You know, so now that same part is $45,000, man. Okay? And who does that hurt? All right, because Donald T, he's only telling you morons. All right? Yeah, that's what you are. You are a bunch of damn morons, man. You don't have a damn functioning brain. You don't know how the economy works. You know? By him putting that tariff on Brazil, yeah, it's going to hurt Brazil. Okay? Because they're going to sell less of that item because now that item is more expensive. Okay? But for the Americans that want to buy that item and they need to buy that item because it ain't no other option, okay, they're going to have to take the grunt, all right, of that tariff, man. Okay, so my company has to pay that extra 15,000. All right, because the customer ain't go. I mean, the manufacturer ain't gonna take that hit. All right, everybody try to negotiate, but the customer still gonna have to take a lot of that damage. Okay, straight up, man. Okay, the customer is gonna have to take that hit. All right, and this devil is sitting here, you know, lying about this shit, man. Lying about this shit to you dumbass people, man. And you believe in them. Okay, so whose fault is that? All right, that you the moron that trust in the devil. Okay, and these tariffs are I'm talking about they about to wreck a lot of these businesses, man. Okay, a lot of these businesses are about to become unprofitable overnight. Okay, people about to begin let go and laid off overnight. All right, simply due to these tariffs, man. If you're not laid off, you're gonna be furloughed. All right, until the devil can figure this shit out. Okay, but you got different tariffs on these different countries. You got tariffs on certain items like copper. Okay, and copper is in freaking everything, man. Okay, and this is making the EU, you know, the beast hate this devil the more hate this whore more, and it's making all these other nations hate the whore. All right, because the whore is just doing shit, you know, coming against these nations. All right, for no damn reason, no good reason. Okay, which all of this is manipulated, man. Okay, they want Babylon to be how do you say it exercised. Okay, to be isolated. All right, to be looking like a damn fool. Okay, and ultimately it's the Most High that wants Babylon to go out in this manner. Okay, shameful, man. Everybody saying that you beat, grape, rob, and murder the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Or you beat the hell out of the Negroes. Now you deporting all the Northern Kingdom. You know, so everybody sees you, man, for the devil, you know, that you are. Okay, and you leaving the people with no hope. All right, all these business owners, they about to be down bad. All right, this administration by Donald T is completely, I'm talking about utterly against the middle class and the and the poor of you people, man. Completely giving tax breaks to the rich, cutting off your Medicaid, all right, and your social what is it called your welfare, totally attacking, all right, the classes of people that are already unprotected, that are already in poverty, man, and then going and liquidating all these government jobs, all right, and then you got jobs that's in the private sector they laying off. So you people are about to feel it, man. You know, you people are gonna fucking feel it, and it's gonna hurt. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, and that's the time that we're going into, man. The grinding ceasing. All right, when it ain't no work in Babylon, and you're seeing that right now. Okay, it may look different in Houston, but in all these other different states and cities in America, they doing bad, man. They are doing horrible. Okay, terrible. All right. It says because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, man. And everybody's seeing it. All right, everybody's seeing that America's going down. All right, and they losing faith in this place, and they losing faith in the government, man. All right, and these people are gonna begin to panic. All right, they're gonna begin to get violent. All right, they're gonna freaking lose it. All right, because they invested in this place. All right, but that's what you get. All right, for making a man, your arm, man. All right, we told you people, man. We was on the highways and byways, screaming at the top of our lungs, for you jakes to repent. We told you about this economic system. We told you about Donald T. All right, about the Crown Royale, and you people didn't listen. All right, but as the scriptures say, pretty soon you're gonna see that there was a prophet among you, but you was too hard headed and stiff necked. All right, and by that time it's gonna be too late. Okay, but that's all I had. I pray that this lesson was edifying, and shalom.